Joining us now for a look at what we can expect when tomorrow's closing arguments get underway, criminal defense attorney Mark Hourglass. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining us as always. The jury listened to 22 witnesses, so they've had some time to sort of dissect this whole thing. Obviously, Michael Cohen was supposed to be the star witness in all of this, a proven liar. But what say you as far as what you believe to be expecting when it comes to closing arguments? What are you looking out for?
We all cannot wait to hear what select words prosecutors will flow from their lips to describe what was the falsified records for, to commit or conceal what crime, and if so, to explain to us and the jury how he intended to interfere with an election rather than merely influence it. I can't wait to hear what they're going to say.
What do you think of this judge? I mean, a lot of people have said that this judge almost seems like he's working for the prosecution. I mean, listen to Trey Gowdy on Fox News Sunday and then react to this, if you will.
Look, I've had some pro-prosecution judges in my life, Shannon, but I ain't never seen a judge like this. I mean, he essentially walked in and asked the defense, "Are you ready?" And then he looked at the prosecution and said, "Are we ready?" I mean, that's what I was in the courtroom twice. 2 days, and that's what I felt like, is he was a member of the prosecution team.
What do you think?
I think he's like most judges. The defense typically doesn't get the same rulings as the prosecution. I don't know that he leans as far to the prosecution side as Trey alleges. I certainly didn't think all the details about Trump's alleged affair with Stormy Daniels should have come into evidence. I don't need to know whether he was wearing a condom. I don't need to know he was posing allegedly on a bed in his boxers. Those things, I think, should have been kept out. Overall, I think he's doing the best that he can.
So then, when it comes to closing arguments, I mean, what do you see as the end all in all of this? I mean, do you see an acquittal? If you've heard from 22 witnesses as a juror, I would imagine that would be plenty of either evidence or no there as far as any evidence of a crime here. Where do you see this going?
Okay, so having done trial work for 32 years, here's what we know with certainty.
Okay.
You never know what a jury's going to do. So nobody really knows. I think that if the defense plays their cards right and says, look, probably guilty, maybe guilty in the worst case scenario, is not enough. This is proof beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. And if he did do this, and I mean Trump as opposed to Cohen exclusively, you have to then say, really, he didn't have his wife in mind, even though several people testified that he did this action because he wanted to make sure that his wife didn't find out about this alleged affair? Well, you can't guess him being guilty. It's got to be evidence. And I think the defense argues that they just failed to prove their case beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt that a not guilty verdict should be forthcoming.
Trump's legal spokesperson on Sunday Morning Futures had this to say. Let's watch.
These are not sequestered jurors.
True.
They should have been sequestered because, in my opinion, these jurors are handling something that is completely unprecedented and unwarranted in America. And for them to be able to be out and about on a holiday weekend with friends and families who have opinions, who are watching the news, TV's on the background at the pool party, I have serious concerns.
Now, there were a lot of concerns, first of all, for this trial to be held in a blue city such as Manhattan, where, I think the majority here are not fans of Trump's. But when you don't sequester the jurors, I mean, how dangerous is that really, honestly? I mean, like she just said, people are going to be spending Memorial Day holidays, and anyone who's at that holiday picnic who knows that their cousin is sitting on the jury of like the most historic criminal trial ever that they will ever sit on. How do they not talk about it, and how do they not get influenced when they go to make a critical decision this week?
Unfortunately, they do. Anyone who says that these jurors are immune to what the public says or what they hear on the media are being intellectually dishonest. It happens. People discuss, hey, so how you been? Oh, what are you up to? And it happens. Now, that said, I think the fact that you mentioned it earlier, that many of these jurors are anti-Trump is more of a problem than the media. Because if you're looking at the media, most legal experts, if they're worth anything, are really questioning this prosecution case. They're wondering whether this case could have or should have been brought with a central character who you cannot rely upon to tell you what day of the week it is. Cohen cannot be relied upon. He is a proven liar. And therefore, I think if they do watch anything in the media, it would only benefit the defense side.
All right, Mark Eiglars, thank you so much for coming on this Memorial Day. We appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.